tent had been cut open from the inside. 9 experienced hikers had fled into the freezing darkness. Some wore only socks, some were barefoot. None of them would survive. Weeks later, rescuers discovered bodies scattered across the snow-covered mountains. Several suffered horrific injuries. One had no tongue, another had missing eyes. The Soviet investigation would eventually conclude that the group had died because of an unknown compelling force. More than 60 years later, nobody knows what happened on that mountain. January 1959. Deep within the Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union, 10 experienced hikers set out on an ambitious winter expedition. Their leader was 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a skilled mountaineer, a respected student, a man trusted by everyone in the group. The hikers were young, strong, experienced. Many had completed difficult expeditions before. Their goal was to reach Otorten Mountain, one of the most remote areas of the northern Urals. The journey would take them through endless forests, deep snow, and some of the coldest temperatures on Earth. Before the expedition truly began, one member of the group became ill. Yuri Yudin decided to return home. His decision would save his life. The remaining 9 hikers continued into the wilderness. The weather deteriorated. Snowstorms reduced visibility. Temperatures dropped far below freezing. Still, the group remained optimistic. They laughed. They took photographs. They wrote in their journals. Nothing suggested that they would never return. On February 1st, the group reached the eastern slope of a mountain known as Kholat Syakhl. The local Mansi people called it the Mountain of the Dead. Rather than descending into the forest below, the hikers chose to set up camp on the exposed mountainside. They pitched their tent against the freezing wind. That evening, they ate. They talked. They prepared for the following day. Then, sometime during the night, something happened. Something so frightening that 9 experienced hikers cut their way out of their own tent. Not through the entrance, but through the fabric itself. They fled into the darkness, without coats, without boots, into temperatures approaching -30 degrees Celsius. When rescuers finally reached the campsite several weeks later, they found the tent partially buried in snow. The belongings of the hikers remained inside. Boots, clothes, food, cameras, everything had been left behind. Footprints led away from the tent. Some were barefoot, others wore only socks. The tracks continued toward a forest nearly 1.5 kilometers away. The first 2 bodies were discovered beneath a cedar tree. They belonged to Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko. Both men wore almost no clothing. Their hands were severely damaged. The branches above them were broken. It appeared they had attempted to climb the tree, perhaps to escape something or to see something. Nearby investigators discovered the remains of a small fire. The men had desperately tried to survive. Several hundred meters away, 3 more bodies were found. Igor Dyatlov, Zina Kolmogorova, Rustem Slobodin. All 3 appeared to have been attempting to return to the tent. None of them made it. Weeks passed. The remaining 4 hikers were still missing. Finally, in May, rescuers discovered them beneath several meters of snow inside a ravine. Their injuries shocked investigators. Lyudmila Dubinina suffered massive chest injuries. Semyon Zolotaryov had multiple broken ribs. Nikolai Thibault Brignol suffered severe skull fractures. The force of the injuries was compared to a car accident. Yet strangely, there were almost no external wounds. Even more disturbing, Lyudmila's tongue was missing. Her eyes were gone. Another hiker was also missing eyes. Some clothing was later found to contain traces of radiation. The Soviet investigation struggled to explain what had happened. No signs of another person were found, no evidence of an attack, no animal tracks, no weapons, no survivors. The official conclusion stated only that the hikers had died due to an unknown compelling force. The case was closed. For decades, the files remained classified. Many theories emerged. Some believe an avalanche forced the hikers to flee. Others argue that the slope was not steep enough. Some suggest powerful katabatic winds created terrifying sounds that drove the hikers into panic. Others believe secret Soviet military tests may have taken place nearby. Witnesses reported strange orange lights in the sky during that period. Some have suggested infrasound. Others propose hypothermia-induced confusion, and some believe the truth has never been revealed. The photographs recovered from the cameras remain haunting. The smiling faces, the snow-covered trails, the final camp. The last moments of 9 young people who had no idea they were approaching one of history's greatest mysteries. Yuri Yudin, the only survivor, spent his life searching for answers. Before his death, he stated that he wished he had one final opportunity to ask his friends what really happened that night. Today, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains unsolved. No one knows why the hikers left the tent. No one knows what frightened them. No one knows what caused their injuries. And perhaps the most disturbing question of all, what could make 9 experienced hikers willingly leave the safety of their tent and walk into certain death? The mountain remains silent. The snow continues to fall. And somewhere within the frozen darkness of the Ural Mountains, the truth may still be waiting. Because sometimes history leaves behind mysteries that refuse to die.